as well, since we're going to get started. I assume you're ready to start. Hello.
I mean,
Hi, Alex. You're the second
hi,
guest. It's a
Sam.
repeat guest coming on to the podcast. I don't remember how I introduced you before, but guys, Alex is a chatter, sometimes streams, plays terrible games, has the most meanest words for me in chat, and hurts my feelings all the time.
As if you have feelings, Sam.
Wow, that's rude. But hello, hi. You came on. You said specifically my DMs. Oh, I have interesting things to talk about, Sam. I'm super interesting now. I want to come back. And so you know what? I'm like, hell yeah. I've been trying to get Griffey on it. I've been trying to keep the past couple weeks open to him because he is moving. However, he couldn't make it. So instead, we got Ilex, wonderful person, able to jump in and join. Ilex, is there anything I missed in introducing you that you want people to know about you?
Geez, I mean, you missed most of the criminal record, but other than that, I think you covered it.
I didn't know there was a criminal record. Did you actually go to jail? Am I allowed to ask that?
You can ask that. The answer is no, I've never been arrested for a crime.
But you have done crimes, right? That's what you're basically saying. You're not going to admit which one's on air, I'm sure.
I've never been arrested for a crime.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. Good. Okay. So last time we talked a lot about health and safety, QA. I feel like today's topics are going to be very nerdy. I wanted to start with the very hard question. Now get ready. This is going to rack your brain. You're probably going to have to stop. I don't want to hear Lord of the Rings online, but what do you think is one of the most underrated games of all time? Could be a board game, could be a card game.
Okay. That is a really complicated question because
I don't think it is.
I have
think
worked
it's
in
hard.
this industry.
There's a lot of underlooked games.
It depends. Do you want to ruin friendships? Do you want to have a good time? Are you talking about...
How does that make them underrated? Like, I feel like those are just basic games. Monopoly ruins friendships and is also a good time.
Yeah, but like you can play a real game like Thief. Thief ruins friendships. Really good game, highly underrated.
Are you saying Thief or Thief?
Thief. Thief. F-I-E-F.
Okay, I don't think I've heard that one. I've heard of Thief, but...
Yeah, so Thief came out in, I want to say, 2017, and it made, like, the Spiel des Jahres circuit and all that. So that game is really good and underrated. If you want one that doesn't ruin friendships, a board game I would highly recommend.
Oh, Thief is shit. Oh, I hated it. Now that I see what it is, why would you like this?
I love political games.
There was a different political game that was so much better, and it was like with mechs and stuff instead of medieval, and it's very similar. But you think Thief is underrated? Why is it so underrated?
Because I think that political games overall are underrated.
Why do you like political games? I feel like they're not.
Because I'm a little shit. And this gets it out of my system. I mean, and also it doesn't take, like, actual business weeks like diplomacy.
Oh, diplomacy is shit for that, yeah. I hate in diplomacy how you have to really have two people to go against one to try and defeat people. It's rough. Diplomacy is very rough.
Yeah, and if you get a pain-in-the-ass person, the whole thing is just... At some point, everyone will just be like, if I die, can I go home? If I just give up?
Yeah. I'm looking at political board games right now as chat gets to see, and there isn't that many. There's a lot of political games I thought would be included here, but they're not considered political games, I don't think. Huh. Okay, well, yeah, apparently I don't know political board games.
Yeah, as far as a game that is a lot of fun and I feel like is very underrated, also came out around the same time, so like 2017, 2018, is Colt Express. And I really like that one because it is a board game that has 3D elements. It has pre-programmed movement. It's really thematic. It's cute. And it's a lot of fun because it gets chaotic in a really good way.
What is even that? I don't know. What is this? Is this just Clue on a train?
No, so it's even wackier than that. So you have to pre-program your movements for the turn. So you have action, so you can like shoot, move, like go up and down, go side to side, like to the different train cars. And so you pre-program your movement before you know what anybody else is doing. Your objective is to steal the treasure on the train before you get captured by the marshal or somebody else gets the treasure before you do.
Who plays this? Who plays
Board game
this?
nerds.
Also, Resi, thank you for the subscription again. And no, Risk is not a political game. I don't care who you are. Risk is not political. In fact, I would say it's random numbers. I hate Risk for the dice roll. But what would you say is your least favorite mechanic in a game? Because it sounds like you like stuff that you set up, right?
Yeah, because
that you plan your
I like to
actions.
plan. Which means that I have a love-hate relationship with bidding games because that mechanic can either be really fun or it just sucks.
Bit in games?
Bidding.
Bidding. Like, what is that? There's an oil rig one where you're bidding for land. I can't think of any other bidding games.
Also, is my video frozen on your stream?
Possibly. Let me try and fix that. It seems like it may be. Let's see Discord. Discord's fine. No, it's now unfrozen. That's weird.
Okay, cool.
Because it did look like it was frozen, but as soon as I went to Discord, it's no longer frozen.
Weird. So
what
things
bidding
were-
games have you played? Like, what would you consider a bidding game?
one that I think is a good example of bidding games would be Revolution.
Okay.
And you're bidding on, you have 3 different levels of thing. So one beats one and the other one beats the other. So you have kind of like a rock, paper, scissor. And you have certain things in the town that you can only use certain means of bidding to get. So there's strategy that goes on and you get more of the resources to bid with based on what you have. So that one I like. There's a stupid horse racing game that they used to play at the
Oh, I
board game
fucking
store I
hated
worked
that one.
at.
I can't remember the name of it.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's so annoying. And because the middle horse always wins no matter what you do.
Yeah. I can't remember the name of it for the life of me, but there were like 4 or 5 horses and they go. I don't remember all the rules. I haven't played it in decades, and I hated it. I hated it so much.
Yeah.
But I don't know if there's that many bidding games. But what about for like video games? What kind of mechanics do you hate in video games?
I like a lot of video games for a lot of reasons. One of the things that I kind of just dislike are strategy games that get just too bulky. They're too complex. Like, I like politics, I like resource gathering, I like logistics, but there's a point where it's like, I couldn't give a singular shit anymore.
I feel like Catan gets there, especially once you get Cities and Knights. I'm sure you've played Catan.
Of course.
But like the
I can't play it
seafarers,
sober
not a
anymore.
problem. But like cities and nights, I feel like that's getting way above what typical people would want to play for a board game. And I also don't
Yeah,
remember all the rules for it, so I couldn't care. I could not give a shit to play cities and nights.
Catan is also a board game for people who say they like board games but don't know any other board games.
I don't fully agree. I feel like Catan's just a quintessential. Everybody's going to like it because it's so, I want to say, balanced, but at the same time, it's not challenging, kind of.
Yeah. I guess for like that same level of strategy, I'd rather play Citadels. So,
I don't know. I feel like Citadels is a reach because nobody's going to know what Citadels is and want to play it. Like if you were to
you
say,
need better friends then.
I'm just going for normies, because not everyone's a board game aficionado. Like I argue you even exceed my knowledge on board games these days because I haven't played board games a lot since like COVID. And even then it was more the mainstay, the basic ones, because there's a million board games out there and they all cost like $80 Canadian to pick up a board game that you might not know is good or not. And that's the hardest part about trying new board games is who's going to fork out that much money for something they don't know.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I liked the first store I worked at because it had a huge library of demo games. So you didn't have to fork out the 80 to $100 on the board game without trying it. You could try it first. And that was actually a really effective strategy for the store because like people would come in and play a game, be like, oh my God, I need to buy this. And then you'd get people who wouldn't have possibly ordinarily wanted it go like, oh, I want to bring this to my board game group. So sometimes you could get twice the sales because you'd have multiple people trying it. Or people would be like, oh my God, I dodged a bullet not getting this, but I am going to go buy this other game instead because I really hated that one, but you know, I don't have time for another, but this one looks better. So I feel like we never lost a sale. We just got better sales.
I could see that. So the hobby store, that's your husband's, right? You help out or?
So that was the one I worked at in New Jersey.
Okay.
The store that I have with my husband and his family, that is only miniature wargaming.
Only miniature, no board games.
We have some board games because we took on Asmodee as a supplier. So there are some board games that we have to have because of the contract, but it's like a tiny little shelf in the back. It's really not our focus.
Okay. And is it mostly just Warhammer or is it more of like the Dungeons and Dragons minis? Or
So it is
the Battletech, the Mech Warrior, there's so many different minis.
Yeah, so probably about 40% of our sales are Games Workshop games. And then the other 60% is literally everything else. A huge part of our sales are actually historical wargaming figures. So we carry pretty much everything from every era. And that is one of the things that makes the store very unique because there are very few stores in the country where you can go in and actually off the shelf pick up something from a historical era and get like hyper specific units because our store carries basically everything. If we can get it and stock it and it's a miniature, we're going to have it. And so like if you want Roman legionnaires, we got them. You want Scythians, got them. You want a weird World War I armored car, yeah, we probably have it. So it's definitely not your average gaming store because of that hyper focus. We can just really have a lot of depth within what we carry. So we carry no cards. We don't carry really board games. It is pretty much all miniatures and, of course, the modeling stuff that goes with it. So, God, we carry like 7 brands of paint now.
Yikes, that's
we
a
have
lot
a whole
of paint.
department. And yeah, Sushi, the store is 3 floors. I don't remember how many square feet it is. It's either 5 or 6,000. But it's a lot. And then we have the 12 permanent gaming tables in the upstairs. And then we have a whole nother building that is just playing space. So that's another, like, probably 4,000 to 5,000 square feet. Because that's another 3 floors.
So I'm surprised you guys don't have any card games like Magic or Yu-Gi-Oh or whatever the Pokemon are now these days. Those sell like hotcakes these days.
They do. Here's the thing. In Salt Lake City, I talk about Mormons a lot. So because Mormons aren't allowed to do a lot of things, one of the things they can do is nerd shit. They're really into nerd shit. So from my house, I'm thinking of like a 5-mile radius from my house, I can think of stores that carry board game, card game, or hobby things. There are 2, 3, 4, 5 I can think of off the top of my head, including the one that my family has.
Okay.
It's a lot. Out of those, 2 of them carry board games, card games. One of them is pretty much just like model train stuff. And the other one is just kind of like a, bog standard, nerd store. But with that, we don't need to carry cards. There's no reason to, because none of us in the family care about them. So because somebody else will do it better, why bother? And also, we don't want to host card game tournaments because I have had to Febreze bomb the store I worked at in New Jersey. Which, do you know how to make a Febreze grenade?
I've never needed a grenade. I just sprayed it into the fan, and I called that a day.
Okay, so imagine it's New Jersey in the summer.
Okay.
It's like 90 degrees, 90% humidity.
You already lost me. It's New Jersey. Fuck that place.
Fuck you.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, Sushi. It's in Boonton on Boonton Ave. So imagine 90 degrees, 90% humidity. You've got like 40 people in basically a 2-car garage size space, and you have one window air conditioner trying to keep up. I think I know what hell smells like. So what you can do is, the Febreze that have like the little, like the pss, pss, like actual, like
the spray bottles?
Instead of the spray. Yeah, the spray bottle, but it has like the psh that you like, there's like a lever instead of the button.
I'm pretty sure they all have levers. I've never seen a button for Febreze.
Okay, so with the lever one, you take that in a zip tie, and you take the zip tie around it, and you pull it all the way so it's pulling the lever down the entire time, and you just roll that fucker in. And it won't stop until it runs out.
No, I have Febreze in my bedroom, and it doesn't hold and spray. It's like a Windex where you have to pull the trigger.
No, these are aerosol ones. I don't know if you have them in Canada.
I'm pretty sure it's an aerosol, but maybe in Canada we have rules against holding down aerosol shots. But I can see how you think it's a grenade. I would have just preferred to call it a Febreze smoke or something. I don't know, but
I'm American. We're more violent.
The point I wanted to go with all this conversation, I'm going to lap it back to the beginning of the board game mechanics. is I hate card game mechanics. I absolutely hate it because I used to run the Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments because I was the only guy at the store that cared about Yu-Gi-Oh. Don't get me started, chat. Don't get me started. But the card game rules I fucking hate because every card is different and every game is different. And there are so many video games nowadays where they like to throw card mechanics in. Like, I don't know if you've ever played Slay the Spire or any of those games. There's so many roguelikes where it is a card-based system where you're building a deck, and I fucking hate that. I don't have the patience to read every single card and what its effects are and how to chain them all together to learn a new goddamn card system. I've learned so many card systems. I'm done. I'm done learning card systems. They're shit. Fuck them. I hate them.
So you don't like deck builders in like actual tabletop?
Not
gaming
really.
either.
No. I tend to hate those. Like, take Talisman, for example. Talisman with all of their different fucking card rules here and there. At least you understand Talisman, you have stats and that, but like having to read every single card makes me upset.
Talisman can also get fucked because holy shit, that game is so old school
It's
and
so
clunky.
slow. It is so fucking slow.
Because it's like a proto video or proto board game because it is one of the progenitors of the genre. So it, you know, the roll to move and just all of the stuff that was common in like the 70s into 80s at the beginning of the hobby really kind of taking off. Like, it's great as a relic of what it is. And I know they sell like 10,000 expansions because the first game store I worked at, I swear we kept the lights on from selling Talisman bundles because we would sell the whole bundle online for cheaper than the individual parts. And holy fuck, did we sell those things like crazy. We'd sell at least one Talisman bundle a week. And that's a pretty sizable collection.
How do people play that? How do people play it? It's so bad of a board game.
People
I'm sorry.
have bad taste.
Yeah, well, I feel like that's what people think of when you're like, oh, I want to get really serious with board games. What would you recommend? Talisman? It's easy-ish, but it's so broken. It's unbalanced. It is not a good game. Chat, do not play Talisman. In fact, just go play Ticket to Ride and claim you're a board gamer.
I can't play that game either sober or probably ever again.
Why?
I've played it too many times.
Yeah, I feel that with a lot of games, but, you know, I still play them.
Like, I legitimately, like, if I see Catan coming out, I need to start pouring drinks. Like, at this point, it is just an impulse.
I feel like that's aggressive.
It's just, it was drunk board game when I was in college. That was always our first game of drunk board game night. So now I've just like Pavloved myself into thinking that Catan means drinks.
Okay, I can see that. Chat asked if either of us has played Dutch Blitz, and I can safely say no. I probably would never want to play Dutch Blitz either. Have you played Dutch Blitz?
Not that I'm aware of, to be fair. I've played so many games that I have forgotten that I have played, but I will err on the side of no.
It's a card game with like numbers and symbols, and it seems very European and a mess to play from what I looked up.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not a big fan of card games. Like, the only card games I will play is with a standard deck of cards. So like sequence, spades, hearts, those kind of games, I will play with a standard deck of cards. But as soon as I have to start reading status effects and tapping shit, I'm done. Tap me out. I'm gone. I'm done. Nuh-uh.
I mean, fair. I'm pretty much only down to the only card game I play is I'll play Magic, but only Commander. Because that's just...
What is Commander decks? I never played Magic because I thought it was the most overhyped piece of shit I've ever seen. As a Yu-Gi-Oh player, I looked over across at the Magic players and went, what the fuck are you playing?
by saying, as a Yu-Gi-Oh player, your opinion is now null and void because
That's not true. How dare you? I
Yes?
place a card face down and end my turn.
Good. Be done. Magic is a actual game instead of Yu-Gi-Oh, which is just a bunch of body odor that comes to sit on my tables and make them
You're just
greasy.
upset about people's body odors instead of the game.
No, I'm also upset because I'm pretty sure the Yu-Gi-Oh players, we had to make sure that our building was far enough away from playgrounds and schools. So, yeah, I don't like Yu-Gi-Oh. I don't like the community. Yes, I'm making some spicy accusations of Yu-Gi-Oh players, but prove me wrong. But the Magic players...
I'm case in point. I live by a school and I'm not on any sort of watch list yet.
Well, we'll see how that goes by the end of this. Magic, I feel like, is just the better game on a base mechanics level.
Nope.
It's more interesting to me. Yu-Gi-Oh is just kind of, I don't know, it just feels like it's like, oh, I just have big card, I win. Where Magic, you can work your way out of some tricky situations by being clever. Where I feel like Yu-Gi-Oh, you can't get rewarded as much for being clever.
There's no clever in card games at all. You build a deck and you get the random cards, and that's really about it. There's no clever of, ooh, I could tap 1 mana and pull a fucking rabbit out of my ass that I'm going to make a Play-Doh and make that into a ticking time. No.
Hey,
You
Sam,
tap lands and you play your cards. That's not strategy. It's not being clever. It's random.
You've only played mono red, haven't you?
Just because I had a goblin deck doesn't mean shit.
That proves my point. That
No, it
is
doesn't.
everything.
No, it
Yes.
doesn't.
Oh
How
my God.
dare you?
You are the most brute force. Oh my God, I'm swinging with everything person I have ever met.
What do you mean? When have I ever gone brute force except for the two-handed weapon in Elden Ring and
Except for Elden Ring, Oblivion.
what do you
Literally every other game you play, you go for the big, I'm gonna go smack them big smacks.
do
That's all
more
you wanna do.
damage? They die. Then you don't take damage. That's how you play.
Yeah, and I'm really surprised that you don't play orcs in 40K. The fact you play salamanders kind of makes sense because ooh, flamers, but
What does that mean? Are you calling me gay? Flavor?
you're only 60% gay. Let's be
Only.
honest here. Only.
Yeah.
Rookie numbers. Rookie. So
you
anyway,
know, I'm trying to work on that, putting more flamers in my squads.
have you looked at 11th?
No, I have not played since 5th.
Well, don't. It's trash.
I don't plan on playing because I don't even think a lot of my army would be able to be recycled anymore. Like the basic
could.
Marines, probably the commanders, captains, maybe. I feel like the Dreadnought or 2 I have, possibly, but beyond that, I have a couple Rhinos or Razorbacks that could be recycled.
Yeah, all of those are totally valid.
But my Vindicators, my oh god, I even
Absolutely
have
can be
assault
used.
bikes. Those
Yep. Yep, those are all valid options in 11th.
yeah, but I don't even want to think about how the rules of them have been changed to balance them because Vindicators were so
Oh,
fucking
don't
OP.
worry. The rules are trash and balance is kind of a joke, but I'm not salty because they totally nerfed the Eldar. That
How
wouldn't
could
be
they
why I'm
nerf
salty
the Eldar?
at all.
They were already shit. What do you mean?
No, they were really good from 7th edition.
Yeah, I
into
played up to
8th.
5th, and they were complete shit.
They
Like
were
even
good
the
in-
Dark
they were good
Eldar were
in
better.
Okay. No, not in 5th. Not at
I
the
believe
end
they
of
were.
fifth
They
when the
had so
Codex
many
came
power
out.
weapons on their basic dudes.
Yeah, but come the end of fifth, the Eldar were better than the Dark Eldar.
It could be. I don't know. Fifth is where I started going, I'm out of the hobby, so
Yeah, because you're ancient.
wow. Just because I'm 6 rules behind on everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's okay. My husband is playing second edition, I think, this weekend with his friends, so I really can't judge since,
I feel like third is where it peaked, but that's my opinion. Because I believe third
Yeah.
is where they put in the glancing blows and penetrating blows on vehicles, and that chart was really important.
Yeah, and then they got rid of all of that in 8th edition. So you don't have pens and glances anymore. It's all just a big wound pool.
You can't wound a vehicle! What do you mean?
You can. They have hull points.
No,
Which are
they
just hit
didn't.
points.
No.
It's
I'm never playing that game again.
upsetting. Play Horus Heresy. It's the better game anyway.
I feel like I'm never going to play another miniature game in my life. I'm not going to lie. I don't think I A, have the money to be funneling into an army, and B, the time or patience to be able to paint an army. C, the time and patience to learn how to do an army without wanting to cheese it. I'm good.
Yeah. No, your problem is you'd want to cheese it real bad, and that
I
gets
cheesed my
expensive in a hurry.
salamanders with 3 Vindicators that dropped AP 1 strength 10 shots across the field. It was amazing. It was the best time ever. Fielding 3 of those, people got angry real quick.
Gee, I wonder why.
Well, to be fair, it took all my heavy weapon slots, so I just put a bunch of infantry in front of them. But hey, you play as you play. It's also why my orc army was all grots with slavers with a 4-inch reach with the power claw strength 10.
No.
Hell yeah.
So your orcs being all grots.
Yeah, and slavers.
All go. Yeah, so all go all the time. You're not shaking the allegations of you just go berserking across whatever
What
to
do you
get to
mean?
the enemy to smack them as fast as you can.
It wasn't even about the attacking them as fast as I can. It's more like you can't put as many shots into the grots as you think you can. Once you have 180 grots on the field, that's a lot of shots I'm going to be tanking, and then I just need to get my slavers in, and you're done.
Because you have goblin brain.
What is wrong with Goblin Brain?
There's nothing wrong with goblin brain except for you denying that you have goblin brain.
I'm not a loot goblin.
That is a complete and total lie, and you should apologize to chat for coming out here and lying to their faces by saying
Do you
that
have
you're not.
any evidence that I'm a loot goblin?
So, you see, what I have is your past, 5-6 years of you streaming as evidence of you being a goddamn fucking loot goblin.
No, that doesn't count.
Oh, that doesn't count.
Yeah, because I've never loot goblined in those games, ever.
You played a literal loot goblin game, Zam.
And I placed 3rd overall in the entire world. That
In the
doesn't mean
world.
shit.
It means that there are only 2 people who are better loot goblins than you, which means
That just means I'm a god gamer, not a god goblin.
you're not shaking the allegations, man.
I don't need to shake the allegations because nobody cares if I'm a loot goblin or not.
I mean, we keep showing up, right?
I don't know if that has anything to do with being a goblin or not. And also, I don't think that goblin brain is as terrible as you make it sound. Like, oh, you're too stupid. You're a goblin brain.
It's not a bad thing. It takes all types. There's a reason that red is one of the 5 colors of magic. I'm just saying, you are how you are. And you are a mono-red, goblin-y man.
So what does that say about me?
I think it says that you just like simple solutions.
They're the
go
best
smash,
solutions.
go.
What do you mean?
You could be clever.
I
could
did
be
that in
strategic.
video games like Fallout 2. That was a great game to be strategic in because then you don't have to fight your way through everything and you can just min-max and take all the loot.
Oh. So what was that last bit?
I don't recall.
Can I have the court have that
There's
last bit read back?
there's no transcripts. There's no transcriber to read them to you. I'm deleting the VOD right now.
Well, I guess you're not going to monetize this one.
Well, if it's on YouTube, it's not monetized anyways. But hey, I feel like every single podcast episode I do would get demonetized because we go against what YouTube likes to ban for words. Just in case, kill, die, COVID. What else? What other bad words are there? Fuck. Yeah. Okay. What other words do they hate? Oh, suicide.
Smegma,
Yeah.
vulva.
Smegma. Jesus Christ. All right, there you go. Bye, YouTube's monetization. But you're calling me a goblin brain, a simple man. What would your kind of brain be then? What are you, some Eldar brain?
I am a different type of goblin brain. I am also very loot oriented, but I'm not necessarily going to go smashing into it because I like to be sneaky.
Oh, so you're one of them weird boys.
I love me a magic. I love me a sneak. I love me a sneaky magic.
You tricksy hobbitses. No. Strength is the power.
You know what my main character on Lotro is, right?
A spider?
On creep side, yes. But on free people side, it's a hobbit burglar.
Jesus Christ.
Because if
Why
anything,
are you
I'm
like
going to be predictable.
You know that
Why am I
dwarfs are
like
better.
this? They can't be, well, at the time they couldn't be burglars, and also, agree to disagree about dwarves. I like hobbits more.
Why?
Because I like to feel the grass beneath my toes. I like to enjoy sitting under a tree by a stream.
Why would you want grass
reading
beneath
a
your
good
toes
book.
when you can feel iron ores, the earth beneath your toes?
Because that's cold and hard, and I like.
Yeah, but
the
you
grass
can be
beneath my
grounded
toes.
through the earth. You can't be grounded through grass. So lightning attacks would be super effective against a hobbit, but not against a dwarf. Everybody knows this.
I also like the open sky too much.
You don't need skies where I'm at. Just
Yeah,
dig a
in your
hole.
little goblin cave.
I hate this. I hate you. I wanted to talk
No.
video games and cool things, and here you are just insulting me about being, blunt and straightforward.
Yeah, and also, are you telling me that as a loot goblin-y dwarfen man, that the dwarves had no safety guys doing all of that mining? Because I'm really thinking you're fitting into that stereotype.
Why would you need safety
uncomfortably
guys
well.
to do mining? That decreases your efficiency.
Oh, Zam.
What? If they die, they die. Replace them with more goblin miners.
I'm concerned about your professional life.
My professional life is a complete farce where I tell people I care about their lives and I secretly go, well, sometimes you can't save stupid. There's a lot of stupid people out there.
Yeah.
I don't play Magic. I literally was given a goblin deck, chat. All right, listen, I was given a goblin deck and I thought goblins were cool and I played one game of Magic and I said, "Nah, this game sucks."
So somebody who assessed the situation well gave you a goblin deck. Because God knows you don't have the patience to ramp up green. Because
Why would I care about ramping up?
Because you get big stompies that way.
You can get big stompies by just placing land and flipping it for bigger goblins.
No, that's not how that works.
I'm pretty sure that's how that works. I played the game at least once.
When you want the really big, really stompies, you gotta, start tapping your creatures for mana. And then you get the really big, really stompies. And
why would you tap a goblin? That's kind of weird. What kind of sexual fetishes do you got where you're tapping little goblins? Jesus.
Why would you take it here? I think that says more about you because your brain went there.
Because everybody knows when you say tap, it means sexually. It's not like in Magic where you turn the card sideways. Nobody thinks that.
I think you need to hang out with better people, Zam.
Okay, what kind of better people do you think I need to hang out on or with? On?
Obviously, Magic players for starters.
No. Magic is shit. I will not play with Magic players. I will not play Magic. I will not hang out around Magic players. Magic is shit. I will also say that Pokemon is shit.
One game you've played?
One game I've played of what?
Magic.
What do you mean?
You played one game.
Okay, it was more like 3 or so, but it's still not good enough.
Yeah, because you haven't figured it out yet. And you
I don't
have
need to figure it out when Yu-Gi-Oh is so much better.
No,
you can't special summon in Magic.
Simple man.
You can't place a card face down without tapping an island. I'd much rather have like action economy instead of a fucking land-based economy that's based off of fucking cards that sometimes you get a handful of lands and sometimes you get no lands and you just get fucked. Why can't I just play a card every turn?
Strategically.
What is the strategic about that aside from just getting fucked by RNG? You know what's strategic? Being able to place a card per turn and having 5 cards and going, oh, I could place cards this turn.
Because deck building is a critical part of the strategy and having an adequate
it's boring
land
as fuck. Jesus Christ.
It's not
you can only have
you
30 cards. It's so annoying. No, that is the worst part about the card games. The best part about the card games is losing and getting to go home.
So disappointing that you can't even have the patience to play a goblin deck.
Well, it's not about patience. It's just Magic's not a good game. I don't like the action economy, as I said, of having to find lands and placing the lands and the slow buildup of I only have 1 land, so I only have 1 mana. Sure, that becomes more strategy later of how many lands you've placed and how much income you're getting. Ooh, whoop-de-doo. I'd much prefer the card game, the card action economy. Like, Hearthstone was great for that. That you got mana per turn instead of having to get fucking mana. Putting lands for mana is fucking shit.
I will say I do really enjoy Hearthstone as a game.
I did until they went way too aggressive on the expansions and I just couldn't keep up. And they basically then said you have to pay to play to get all the good cards that are coming out.
Yeah, they even lost people like my dad who was literally just like a Hearthstone whale. And when you start losing the whales, it's like, oh, that's a problem.
Yeah,
so,
no, I enjoyed the base card game of Hearthstone. The arena was also fun that you got random cards. That felt great. But overall, I was not big on Hearthstone because I was already falling out of favor with Blizzard back then because they were killing StarCraft.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Even your choice of StarCraft faction, I think, says a lot about you.
What do you mean? I played random, but I was best at Terran.
Yeah.
How is random saying anything about me?
Because your favorite was Terran.
That's what I was best at. That doesn't mean it's my favorite.
Yeah. Then what was your favorite?
I didn't really have a favorite. I just hated playing Zerg because I wasn't that good at it. But I didn't hate Protoss whenever I got Protoss. It was like, okay, sweet, let's go. And when it was Terran, it was like, hell yeah, I'm going to get a W this game.
And you're telling me that's not a favorite?
That's not a favorite. If I had a favorite, it would be the nuclear missile. That would be it. And I never got to use them as much as I wanted to. I wish that the Protoss had nuclear missiles instead of a fucking Archon toilet, because Archon toilets are fucking lame. Like, who wants to flush their Archons? Stupid.
Uh,
What does
idea
that
of
say about me that I played random, though?
Random with the hope of Terran?
Random was not a hope of Terran. Random was just a play to fuck with their head before I got in the game. Because it completely changes the dynamic of the other person's game. Your build order's now thrown off because you have to scout me. It changed and put me on the advantage. It was not that I was hoping for Terran. I learned build orders for all three races. It was just a matter of like, I got an advantage right out the gate. That was the whole point of it. It was not, I hope I get Terran. It's, I'm playing random and let's go.
Yeah, just with the way that you tend to be balls to the wall, just go
They're
get
called
them.
all-ins.
Sure.
Yeah.
Your preference to Terran kind of makes sense.
How?
Because-
Terran Turtle. They don't go balls to
Because
the
you can-
walls. They
But
do drop,
instead of
sure.
having, yeah, and you can get out there quicker than, say, like Toss.
I firmly and
And-
politely disagree. Terran's the slowest at that. The Zerglings are one of the faster ones, but if you go 3-gate and
Yeah,
you put a
but they're-
pylon across the field, the Protoss are right on your door.
They can be.
It takes
But-
100 minerals and they're warping in at your door. The Terran has to build far away, or they float their bases so far, or you have to get an SCV out there. Then you have to build the thing, and then you have to build units out there slowly, one at a time, instead of building the warp gates back at home and just going blib, 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 blib.
No,
They're
it
a
still
turtle
seems on
game.
brand for you. Because you also have the big smashy part of
No,
your personality.
that's a Protoss. I again firmly disagree. The Immortals and the Archons, those are your big smashies. Like the Terran only had the Thor. You could say siege tank, but that's so unwieldy. It's not even. It's more of a defensive unit. But like Protoss was a big smash. You put everything in a giant fucking ball and you A move. But Terran, you have to drop. You have to do micromanagement. You have to stim your guys, cloak your ghosts, EMP. You got so many different things. Well, what did Protoss got? They got their Orb Shield. They got their Blink. They got Psystorm. Also, Zerg just sucked. I'm just going to say it. They don't have big hitters.
I love the Zerg aesthetic. I can't play Zerg. I'm honestly not smart enough to play Terran either, so I play Toss. But I don't know, it always felt like Terrans just were hitting harder than what you're describing.
Terrans didn't hit hard. They hit frequently. And with the Marines being one of the most overpowered units in the game, name me any other tier 1 unit that could easily take down a tier 3 unit aside from a Marine. They can't. Zerglings and Zealots can't shoot up. Stalkers are pretty much useless unless you have a giant ball of them. But you get Marines and one medevac, you can win against a battlecruiser.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's just, they feel like they're just a big... I guess they just feel like a big push when you play against them and you don't play as them.
I don't know. I don't see it that way. I see the Protoss being a better all-in, and Zerg is just a constant harassment where you just hate your life if you can play Zerg properly.
Yeah,
But it also depends what version of StarCraft that you're talking about.
Yeah, I played a lot of StarCraft 1. I played less StarCraft 2.
That's a shame. StarCraft 2 was actually better in my opinion. I was much better playing StarCraft 1, but 2 had so many good quality of life improvements. It was a better game overall.
I agree, but I also didn't have a computer that could run it for a long time.
Shame. It's a good game.
Yep.
I love it.
So, and that's what you went semi-pro on, right?
No, I was semi-pro on Brood War and Counter-Strike. So I was playing, I think I was playing Terran back in that day. It was either Terran or Zerg, because Zerg was really easy in Brood War, where you just select your 12 Zerglings, throw them, select the next one, throw them, select the next one, throw them, select the next one, throw them. While Terran was a little bit harder, where you had to control your different units. But the Wraiths were overpowered as fuck, and so were technically the Muta. Protoss fucking sucked shit. But I did enjoy me a little bit of Brood War. I did play it semi-pro. I was far more successful semi-pro playing Counter-Strike. But I had a team, and it obviously was not as lucrative because I had to share the winnings with 5 people instead of myself.
Yeah, not gonna lie, I never played Counter-Strike.
That's a good game. It's great. It's one of the quintessential games I would argue should stand the test of time. I understand how Valorant is taking a bit of the market share from them because Counter-Strike seems stale and old. But that said, Counter-Strike is purely skill. There's no real gimmicks to it because anybody can use any weapon, right? You can buy whatever weapon. It's dependent upon how well you kill and how good your team does. But like in Valorant, you have hero skills that you could buy into that changes the game and all that other sort of shit that just changes it dynamically based on what character you're playing, what characters you have on your team. So there's more strategy to it, and I get that's why it's neat and cool. But with Counter-Strike, it's 100% skill. How good are you with this weapon compared to how good is the other person with the weapon? What is your knowledge of the map? What is your knowledge of smokes and grenades? It is 3,000% skill and no random bullshit. And that's why I think Counter-Strike will stand the test of time, because it's straight up skill-based.
Which also goes back to you relying more on like just going for it than strategy. As far as like your overall like
going for it is a great strategy. A good offense is a good defense, and a good defense is the best offense. You don't have to have defense if you go offense.
Yeah, it's just I'm trying to say that you are a fairly predictable man.
So I'm still successful 9 times out of 10 because I just go for it.
I'm not saying it's a bad strategy. I'm just saying that's yours.
I have other strategies.
Name one.
Lurking. You just spend the
When have
entire
you
time
ever
waiting, seeing the other person's attacks, their moves, be defensive. You parry everything. You don't even attack. You lurk and you get their moveset, and then you're like, okay, I got this. And then you change, and then you go aggressive, and then you take out the bonk stick and you bash the brains in.
Why haven't you ever done that on stream for any game you've ever played on stream?
I did that so hard against Radmint. I did it so hard against what's that guy? The Margot. I fought both of those at range. There's so many bosses that I spent the first 5 times attempting the boss and I lurked them. There's also turtling in StarCraft, which was my preferred for Terran. That's why I won so much, is that you just put up your siege tanks, your bunkers, your supply depots, they go up and down, and then you just hold it. You just hold against the attack, then you press against the counter, and you win. That's why I was good at Terran.
So maybe you do have one tool other than just smashy hammer.
I'm also incredibly good at stealth games and platformers, except for jumping.
I don't believe you.
What do you mean?
I've seen you play platformers.
What do you mean?
You're good at that?
What platformer am I bad at? Jump King is not a platformer.
How about any of the other games that you've ever
I played Hollow Knight and I beat that. Great game. It's not that great. Good game. What about Ori and the Blind Forest? That's a platformer. Best of those games are amazing.
Are you saying you were good at Hollow Knight?
Yeah.
Right.
I've played a lot of platformers. If I go to my Steam, I can tell you all about the amazing platformers I played. I don't know if you would consider Dead Cells a platformer. I kind of do because it's like a roguelike, but there's a lot of platforming elements to it, going up and down and off the different platforms.
I mean, I've also been watching you play Stellar Blade, and the platformer aspects of that.
That's the controls. No. You don't get to come out here and be like, you're bad at Stellar Blade. No, the fucking controls. It's built for a goddamn console on a goddamn controller. I'm playing it on mouse and keyboard. That's some bullshit. That's not me being bad. That's the controls being bad, and that's the only problem with Stellar Blade. 9 out of 10. Good game. Possibly game of the year.
So the problem is your skill.
No, it's not my skill because I overcame those. Every single time I had a jump puzzle section, I still nailed it. Did I complain about the controls? Yes. But did I get better at it? Yes. Did I ace it at the end? Yes. You know what? The girlfriend has a Nintendo Switch. I'm going to get that son of a bitch. I'm going to put it in and I'm going to play some Super fucking Mario. And I'm going to show you guys how good at platformers I am. I'm going to be so good at Super Mario. You guys are going to be like, oh, it's the Super Zam show.
I'm so excited to see this because I will believe it when I see it.
I won't do Mario Maker 2 like Kaizen runs because that's like fucking torture. But like, I seriously will be one of the best Mario players you can ever imagine that isn't pro.
Well, if you're so good at platformers, then why won't you go pro?
Because 1, I'm old. 2, I don't have time to practice and play and become the world's best Mario player. 3, what is in the purpose of being the best Mario player? To be like, oh, look at me, I'm the best Mario player. No, what's that going to do for me? It's not going to make my stream better. It's not going to make my editing better. It's not going to make my life better. So why would I put the time, effort, and care to become the world's best Mario player? What am I going to get? Money? Wealth? Fame? Nothing. I'm going to be like, oh, I'm the third best Luke Goblin.
So then why do you do any of this?
Because it's fun. I'm not doing it to be the best. I'm doing it because I enjoy it. And also, I challenge anyone in chat right now to tell me who the best Mario player is, and I expect to see Mean Mug. Only one person in chat will probably understand. No, Mean Mug is terrible. He's so bad. Oh my god, he's incredibly terrible. But hey, it's entertaining to watch him fail a lot.
I mean, it's why we come here.
Whoa, no. I don't fail. I do not do the failing. I do the succeeding.
You've never failed once in your life.
No, because I get up and I keep trying time and time again. What was the last thing I failed then, Miss? You fail all the time. What was the last thing I failed?
How about that laser jump puzzle that you had to look up how to do?
That puzzle is bullshit. It didn't give you any instructions at all, and I just didn't fail it. I just ran out of patience to be like, you didn't give me any sort of clues on how to do this puzzle. I'm not going to spend my entire life dying to this fucking laser. You know what I have? I have the internet, which will solve this problem in 5 minutes because it wasn't enjoyable. It was not enjoyable. I did not fail it. They failed me by not making a great puzzle. Every other puzzle in that game, I nailed it, except for the one where I had to double jump, but I didn't have double jump yet. But I also say that's a bad puzzle if you give me a double jump puzzle and you don't give me double jump.
So giving up isn't failing?
It's not giving up. It's I'm moving on. And it's especially different when you're an entertainer, right? Failing over and over and over and over and over is not that entertaining when it's like, the puzzle's stupid. So I'll go and be entertaining somewhere else.
I mean, what was your Elden Ring run then?
That was me playing my first Souls-like, and it wasn't a failure. Every single death, I learned more and more. I did not fail at that game. I beat it.
Yes, but you beat it via failing. Failing isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah, but I didn't fail because I succeeded at the end. Failure is where you give up and you're like, fuck this shit. I'm never going to play this again. When you rage quit. The last game I rage quit was Jurassic World Evolution because they fucking made a tutorial that you can lose during. And I lost twice during that tutorial, and so I rage quit the shit out of that. So I would take that as my last failure. But that's because the game was a piece of shit. How do you go bankrupt during the tutorial?
How do you fail a tutorial?
They designed it so you could fail it. It's not my fault.
Then don't fail it.
It's not my fault. I didn't fail it. They designed it to be failable, and that's on them, not on me as a gamer.
So, if a game lets you fall, that's bad game design because you can fall.
No. If the game gives you a tutorial, right? And that tutorial is supposed to teach you how to play the game, and you can game over before you finish that tutorial, that's not teaching you how to play the game. That's teaching you how to lose the game, and that's completely different.
It sounds like it taught you an awful lot about the game.
No, it taught me absolutely nothing because I went bankrupt twice.
Then it sounds like you had more to learn.
No, I had no help from the tutorial, and so I went bankrupt. I followed their plan to the T, and then they stopped teaching me and came back after I lost and were like, oh, you didn't do these. No, that's not a tutorial. That's a losable.
So you think that tutorials, it should be so hard on rails that you cannot fail it?
I feel like a tutorial is only supposed to be designed to teach you how to play the game. And if you can't teach somebody how to play your game because your game's so unique and different, then you don't deserve to have a game. If I need a tutorial to play your game, I'm already considering you a failure because I should know from previous games how to play that game. And I understand there's new people coming into the hobby every day and they don't know how to play, right? Lil Babby's first game, they don't know how to use a controller. Okay, understandable. Make it something that's easy, breezy, skip through it if I don't want to do it. But like when you force me to do it and your game is so fucking convoluted that I can bankrupt twice as a god gamer, that's a shit tutorial. Why is it in the game? Why do you even have a game?
Why are you assuming you're a god gamer if you failed a tutorial twice in a row?
I'm a god gamer because I'm so good at every game I play. I'm a quick learner. I excel at video games. I'm above average. And
then
therefore, I've played enough. I should know how to play it. And why I failed the tutorial? Because it didn't teach me properly and their game is stupid.
So that goes back to tutorials should basically be on rails and should be unfailable.
I would say that a tutorial should not be failable. And that comes from every single type of game design, every psychic analyst or psychology about it. If you are trying to hook somebody in your game, you don't want them to lose. You want them to win their first game. You want to give them a good win so that they continue on. You motivate them to get hooked on it. If you fail them, they're not going to be like, oh, I'm going to totally play this game that I suck at. So by all metrics, a tutorial should not be failable.
Agree to disagree.
I feel like you should be able to fail immediately after the tutorial, but not during. A tutorial is there specifically to give you the controls and the typical, like, this is what the game's supposed to do, and then you go and you fail after that.
So are you also in favor of tutorials being hard blocked off of the rest of the game? So you have a block that is tutorial, that is self-contained, and then the rest of the game.
I would prefer that because it makes it less disjointed than like, oh, you're a little itsy bitsy baby. Here's how you play the game, and we're gonna walk you through it before you hit the ground running. Right? I think that what is that? Elden Ring did really well where there was no fucking tutorial and you had to learn to jump, you had to learn to attack, you had to learn everything where your equipment was. That was a fairly decent tutorial. One that I put to a gold standard of tutorials is Mega Man, especially Mega Man 2, where throughout the level, they teach you the boss attacks before you get to the boss. Fighting the basic core enemies is teaching you time and time again, okay, you're going to see this boss attack later, you're going to see this one later, these are what you need to learn to fight the boss. You're not being told, okay, press X to jump. You're not taken out of the game to be told what the controls are. You're being taught on your basic, here's the game, go play it. I think that was one of the most highly rated tutorials, if you even want to call it that. One of the worst tutorials I played was where they do take you off to a separate area and say, okay, now you're in a simulation. Here's all your skills. Another really good tutorial was Tomb Raider. Did you ever play Tomb Raider?
No.
So in Tomb Raider, they have her in like a gymnasium, like training level where you're supposed to like you can literally just run past it and call it a day and skip the tutorial. But it teaches you how to jump from platform to platform, climbing, where you're supposed to look for the different ledges that you can grab. They weren't painted yellow. Tomb Raider's tutorial was you're at your own fucking home and you can play as a sandbox there before they take you and put you in the game, and the rest of the game was shit. The rest of the game was shit. I hated Tomb Raider with a passion because you had precision jumping in a janky-ass control fucking game. You had enemies that locked onto you and fucking, if you didn't see them first and started shooting first, you died. They had med kits that were such fucking bitches because you had to find secret health kits throughout the maps. Otherwise, you would not have enough health kits because there are traps that you literally have to walk through to take damage to pass through those traps. And if you don't have enough health, you're soft blocked and you die and game over. Tomb Raider was a shit game, but it had an okay tutorial.
So then what do you think about games that you go through an area and you see something that you can't get to yet and you're like, I'm going to have to come back after I get a skill?
I hate that so much. That's the Lego games in a nutshell, and I hate it because it's forced replayability. I think that you should not tease me with an ability I don't know yet. I hate that about Castlevania and all those Metroidvania games. That pisses me off so much because I'm never going to remember where the fuck those holes were. I don't want to have to pull up a special map icon to type, oh, I need a fucking double jump for this, right? I don't want to have to go back and play the Lego game all over with a different character that can blow things up because you didn't give me a blow up things character during that level. That is not fun to me. That's me going, oh, you really want me to play this again. This is something from the 90s that should have never made it past, because in the 90s, every game was based on, oh, how many hours is this game? Can you play 1,000 hours of Civilization? Yes, you can, right? But can you get 600 hours out of Mario? Well, if you have to have a special character that you get after you beat the game, and then you go back and you remember to play the character on that level, and you can then unlock, that's bullshit, right? And even in games where you need like a fucking grappling hook or something and you don't have it, to have to backtrack, I always feel is a detriment to the game. Even if it's not to progress and it's just a secret hidey hole or something like that, you have to go back and find that. I want to point to like Doom Eternal, Doom even, the new Dooms, that they had things where, you know, you got dashes later in the game so that you can explore further as the maps get bigger and more complex. But every single secret you could get without a stupid power-up. So as you play the game, you can get 100% completion without having to go back afterwards and be like, I already played this. I already killed these guys. There's nothing new about this. Let me do it all over just so I can jump and get this fucking puzzle piece again. It's so retarded. I hate it.
Oh, that's a pretty strong opinion.
Well, why do you think they're good? Why do you think that's a good game mechanic?
I'm not saying that they're inherently good.
They're inherently bad, in my opinion.
I got frustrated with them depending on how they're done. Sometimes they don't bother me. I honestly didn't finish Recore because of all of the, oh, you'll need to do this thing and come back. And it's like, okay, I don't care. I don't care enough.
It was one of the things that I hated the most about Hollow Knight, because you'd go all the way down this tunnel and you'd fight through some really difficult enemies and then find out you can't proceed. And so you'd then go back, fight through all those enemies, find the next door to explore, and then you go all the way through, especially early game, and you find a area that you can't proceed. And so you go down the next tunnel and you fight all through the enemies and you try and get to the next, and you can't proceed. And it's just like, I'm not being rewarded for exploring. I'm being cock blocked at every fucking turn, and I hate that. I think that's the most silly way to try and build a game.
Because I don't mind if there's like a soft block as far as like all of a sudden the difficulty ramps up in a way that it's still technically beatable, but it's really, really, really challenging, rather than just, nah, sucks to suck, come back later.
I personally think that if you're giving a traversal tool, you should be able to get that traversal tool and then use it afterwards. Once you get it, you learn how to use it. You don't have to go back and then use it to progress. I'm sorry. Give me the tool and then explore, then expand.
Yeah, because I hate going back to like, oh, I've been in this area already. I've already done the things. I've beat these bosses. Like, I'm literally retreading the same ground to then go like, ooh, now I can get into this cave thing. Ooh, I kind of don't care because, like, whatever. I've already been here.
And unless it's really important to get in there, like there's some really good reward, I don't care. And if it's to progress, I feel like you've now made me double the work and have to go back and remember about this to progress the game. And that's where I'm just like, that's something I don't want to do.
I also dislike game design where you have these really huge areas and you go do this huge area and then you have to walk all the way back.
Yeah, I was
There's
playing
no shortcut.
not Skyrim, Oblivion. Oblivion did that really well, where if you did the dungeon, there'd be a secret wall that you open and you're immediately at the beginning of the dungeon. You don't have to walk back through it.
Yeah, I've been playing a lot of Oblivion Remastered lately, and that's been like an absolute sanity saver for me, because like if I have to go walk back across every single step I've taken before,
Yep.
I just get so irritated, like unnecessarily irritated. But I get that in a lot of older games. They didn't, whatever. It's a thing. I play a lot of older games. It is what it is.
I don't
the game
think
design
a lot of
didn't
older
evolve.
games had that kind of a downfall unless they had a dungeon mechanic, right? So like for Doom, Duke Nukem, any of those like first-person shooters, you would complete the mission, the map, and you push the button to exit, and it's a new map. That's how the older games used to do it, is you'd literally have the load zone between maps. But once you had the sandboxes where you had the dungeons, like the Elder Scrolls, I can't think of any other one except for like World of Warcraft, and like those all were dungeons as well, where you go through the dungeon, then you have to walk out.
I also like, makes me think of Morrowind, which also, holy shit, it's a game I really like, but oh my god, there are so many quality of life things that now that I've played newer games, I can't play Morrowind unmodded, because like the fact that just like running takes your stamina, not sprinting,
true.
running.
How do you
Like,
feel about running and stamina? I think stamina is one of the worst mechanics in a game as well. Like card games, throw that right out. I don't like those games anymore. There's so many of them, they're a dime a dozen. Fuck card games. Stamina pisses me off. Why is stamina in any game ever?
I don't mind it so long as...
When has stamina made a game better?
I mean...
The removal of stamina always would make the game better. That's my strong opinion. I will die on that. I think it might be hot topic, maybe a hot opinion, but like, it's not that spicy to me. I think stamina is only there to try and limit how fast you can play the game, or for some sort of strategy for PvP. And even then, if you took that out, it wouldn't be noticeable.
mind it because it just makes me be a little bit more strategic about my actions instead of just flailing at an enemy, going in with a little bit more of a plan. But I mean, I could take it or leave it, but it doesn't really bother me that it's there.
I've always disliked stamina bars. Now, Elden Ring's the one where I come the closest where stamina makes sense in that game as a form of balance, but I leveled up and it soon became a non-issue.
Yeah, I mean, it also comes back to your play style of you like to run at things and hit them and smash them. So the fact that there's a factor that limits that.
The speed of my attack. That's what the factor of the limit should be. I got punished so hard in that game because my attacks were slower. I couldn't hit so frequent and interrupt their attacks, but when I hit, I would interrupt because it hit hard. And that's why it felt good in Elden Ring to have two-handed weapons. But the stamina bar, that wasn't about being punishing. The stamina bar was like, okay, I can't play the game where I jump and everything, so I guess I just have to sit on the floor and do this. And I have to monitor my stamina so I don't run out of block. And
yeah, I think with the aggressive playstyle you have, it's a bit more of a factor, and
you mean a fun
it's more
play
noticeable.
style? I want fun. I want to be having the adrenaline. I want to have the action. Like, for example, chat brought up Diablo 2's stamina bar. That's bullshit. I want to play Diablo where I can run everywhere and kill everything ever. I don't want to have to go and run for 20 seconds and then stop as if I have asthma just because, I'm the chosen hero and I have to go defeat Diablo. Sorry, I can't do it. I have asthma. My stamina bar is too small.
Get more stamina.
Why don't you have a stamina bar in real life?
I do. It is my stamina.
Show me your bar. Where's your white bar full of stamina and your milk that you drink?
Right here. Right here, buddy.
I'm just saying stamina's not a good game mechanic. It's almost as bad as no, weapon durability I feel like is less annoying than stamina. Where you can break weapons.
I disagree. I think it's I don't mind it being a mechanic because it is something that you need to factor into your strategy, but I get annoyed with it more often than I get annoyed with stamina.
I don't like breakable weapons that like throw them completely out of the... Now, I don't think I like durability on weapons at all. World of Warcraft and raids, that was just to fight gold inflation. That was the only purpose of it. But it was so fucking stupid that you would break your armor because you wiped too many times in Molten Core. Stupid. I get that the realism of having breaking the armor, but like Legend of Zelda, the Breath of the Wild or the new ones, whatever, where you have to basically use a stick because a master sword can break.
Then don't break it.
Zelda, bad game.
I mean, lukewarm take there, in my opinion. I am not really a Zelda fan, which... I guess I'm going to get run off the internet now for saying that.
I say it all the time. People just say I'm rage baiting, but it's true. Zeldas are not that good. People overhype them because they don't know what a good game is. They've never played Stellar Blade.
I don't think I could be bothered to play Stellar Blade after watching you play it.
What do you mean?
It doesn't seem that interesting.
Why? What's not interesting about it?
The only thing that you are interested in is, quite simply, watching the booty.
No.
And don't lie to me.
No. I like the takedowns. I like the...
That's true. But, I don't know.
I love the combat mechanics in the game. Even though they're so basic It's fun to play. Sure, I like the booty. I like the butt. That takes it up an extra point, right? I get some nice little eye candy while I'm stabbing something in his fucking dick and ripping it out with my sword before I shove it right back in for his heart. And then I just like tear apart its rib cage and I somersault over it where you can see the pencil. Like, hell yeah, that's fucking preem shit, yo.
I am exceptionally gay, and I'm not gay enough for that.
Okay, all right. Just you're not understanding what it's like to play a good game, on God. For real, for real.
I just feel like for those things that you've just described, if you want that experience, you could play Gears of War game or like
I did. I love them.
Space Marine.
That's why I loved Space Marine. That's why I love Doom. I love the fucking Doom, especially where you're like, ripping out eyeballs and shoving grenade launchers in their head and blowing them the hell up, and they turn into a loot pinata of ammo and health and everything. Fuck yeah, dude. Give me more of that. Some of that Gears of War where you're chainsawing through some locusts. Fuck, dude. That's the good shit in video games. None of this
don't
jumping
get me wrong.
platform bullshit.
But didn't you, like earlier, like half an hour ago, say that you were the best platformer?
I didn't say
gamer?
best, but I'm good at 2D platformers, yeah.
Yeah, you alleged that you were good at 2D platformers.
All right, so if there was a 2D platformer where you could jump from platform to platform as like a really sexy babe that tears enemies apart, I'm in. I'm fucking in. And also, Chin, thank you for the raid. Welcome on in, everybody. I would love a platformer where you rip your enemies to shreds.
So Raffle has a very valid question of, if it were a guy with a nice ass in a skimpy outfit, would you still have played it?
I don't know if I would have used as many skimpy outfits, but there are some outfits that aren't that skimpy, and I don't know. If it's like a guy in like a tank top, like, you know, some of those Resident Evil guys, hell yeah, I'd still play those games. You're a fucking badass dude ripping enemies apart? Yeah. Hello? That's what Gears of War is. My what's showing?
You're 60%. You're 60% gay.
How is that 60%? I think that it's just badass, and badass things are amazing.
Fair enough. I wouldn't know. I'm
glad
usually...
Chin wasn't here earlier when I was tearing apart Hollow Knight and Metroidvanias. I throw out a lot of spicy takes that Chin would not agree with. I should have brought these up while I was talking with Chin last week, or was it the week before?
You would have given that poor man an aneurysm.
What do you mean? I've never given anyone an aneurysm. I don't rage bait. I just have the most common takes that everybody should agree with.
You said that Yu-Gi-Oh is better than Magic.
And I stand by that fact.
Wrong.
It's a
it
fact.
Is objectively wrong.
Yeah? How was the Magic the Gathering anime? How was that anime? Did it take off? No. Oh, interesting. Guess the art wasn't in those cards.
However, I don't care about the anime. I care about the goddamn fucking game.
And the game is so much better when you don't use land. I don't want to have to go through that conversation again, but it's such a better game.
It's just because you're not smart enough to figure out how to build a deck and have land. That's it. It comes down to Zam no like strategy, ugh zug, go smack.
That's like saying, Kerbal Space Program is the best game ever, and it's so much better than Faster Than Light because it's got all the smart technical physics of launching a spaceship instead of just being a spaceship bug zog zog shooting lasers. No, games can be completely different and better. Just because it has physics and smarts in it, it doesn't make it a better game. It doesn't make it funner, and it doesn't mean it's a game that I want to play. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is better.
I mean, you're wrong, but I'm
I've
not
never
going to
been
convince
wrong
you
in my
otherwise.
life. My opinion is very solid. You have not torn apart my opinion in the slightest. I've given valid reasons of why Yu-Gi-Oh is a better game mechanically. Oh, you know, the artwork alone, so much better, right? We can all agree that the
Or
blue
disagree.
the blue outline on magic cards and the red outline on trap cards and the oranges on monsters and the darker oranges on special summons.
The Yu-Gi-Oh art looks like it was done by anime artists who couldn't get a job making anime.
It's better than
It's
looking
not
like an AI
good.
made it. Every single magic card I've ever seen looks like an AI made it.
Hard disagree. There's a lot of really good art in Magic.
Okay.
Like,
there's more cards
especially
in
some
Magic.
of the-
I will at least concede that because Yu-Gi-Oh doesn't have that many cards.
Like, I love.
But
a
to
lot
be
of the
fair, I
older
do
cards.
think that Pokemon has a lot better cards than Magic ever had. Like for art, I should say. I don't know how to fucking play Pokemon. Pokemon's a piece of shit that's overhyped.
Agree that Pokemon is overhyped. I do like the cute little,
Ilex,
cute little guys.
Zam, agree on Pokemon being overhyped. We agreed on something.
Wow, we did it. I just like the cute little guys. That's pretty much the only thing.
I like
Pokemon
the cute
has
little
going for it.
guys. Yeah, well, I like badass little guys. You know, if Pokemon like totally ripped apart their opponents after they defeated them, that would be supreme shit. I'd be on Pokemon.
But you're entitled to a cute little guy.
You're not entitled to shit. You can enjoy your cute little guy, sure, absolutely. But you're not entitled to a cute little Pokemon that follows you around. No. No.
Okay. You can enjoy the cute little guy. I
Okay.
enjoy the cute little guys.
Well, that's
Everyone-
good. I enjoy my
Everyone should
buxom, bootylicious, somersaulting badass from space that kills people that are technically monsters because they're
Yeah.
genetically modified, but you know, I still kill people.
Yeah, it's just I typically like cyberpunk art styles, and this one just didn't grab me.
I don't even think it's that cyberpunk. I feel like it's more dystopian.
Exactly. I feel like it should have leaned harder into like
I could see that.
cyberpunk.
I also feel like they really fucked up by having two of the major biomes being just fucking desert. I will absolutely agree. I hated
Yeah.
that most of the game is you're in a desert.
Which does add to that like post-apoc kind of feeling, because like if you think of all of your classic post-apoc settings like Mad Max, Fallout, just they're all deserts. That is what post-apoc is.
I feel like Fallout wasn't mostly deserts. I feel like the Mojave was, if you're talking New Vegas. But New Vegas wasn't a complete desert. It was mostly desert. It was definitely very atmospheric for Arizona. But like Fallout 3 took place in a metropolitan area, whatever, DC. Fallout 4 kind of had mountainy areas. Like it wasn't just a desert. I understand where you're going for the apocalyptic vibes, but like you can go places that aren't just deserts.
Yeah, but I mean, if I do agree that they overdid the desert, but to not heavily feature desert, I feel like would have been a really big misstep, just because it is so just tropey in that genre that if you didn't do it, it'd kind of feel wrong.
I can see it. Well, like I argue using like the Minecraft theory of biomes is what I kind of consider for peak game design theory or theming, right? You got your jungle, your grassland, your desert, your mountain, your underwater area, your marsh. There's only so many different biomes you can have. But
Yeah, so like you could have mountains, plains,
Yeah.
swamps,
You don't want
forests.
to have desert, plains, desert, mountains, desert. Like, you want that variety, and that's where they kind of missed the mark. But overall, it was still a fun game. I didn't hate it because it was just desert. I just wish that there was more than just desert.
Yeah, that's a fair argument. I mean, also that once you've designed one area with that color palette, it's easy just to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can copy and paste it very easy. I understand game design on that as well. Reusing assets, that company really likes to do it. But regardless, that was basically the video game conversation there. It took us almost 2 hours to get through what I had planned for that. Unless you had other topics about gaming that you wanted to discuss.
No, I'm interested to see what else you've got on the
Well,
agenda.
you said that you think that choosing your Warhammer faction or your faction in games is like a tarot card, or the astrological signs is to point out who you are. Sure, I will take that I'm a very aggressive gamer, not in person, in my real life. I'm not very aggressive in the slightest. But like for video games, it's just funner. So I don't consider it being like a huge tell of my personality. It's more of what I enjoy.
So, it is your gaming persona, though. So it is a part of you. It is.
I don't think so.
So it's part of you that possibly is underexplored in your real life. So that's why your gaming persona is that.
I don't think it's underexplored. Like, it would be heavily explored if there were a lot less laws in person. I tell you what, that would be fun. That would also be a complete shit show. So I understand why a lot of those laws exist. However, I don't think it's that it's underexplored, and so I want to be more badass online, right? I think I just enjoy it.
Because here's the thing. So my Horus Heresy army, and my Chaos Space Marines chapter are the Emperor's Children. And a lot of that, because my Horus Heresy group and I had this conversation about your Horus Heresy Legion says a lot about you, because for me, choosing Emperor's Children, a lot of what they're doing is striving for perfection and striving for these unachievable standards. And that's something that gnaws at me inside my head every single day, because I can't achieve perfection, and it's like killing me inside, and I want it really badly. So I resonate really strongly with this Legion, with its pursuit of perfection, because I have this like psychological hang up about it. One of the guys who plays the World Eaters, so they are led by Cornish influence, and they are just all anger all the time, all go. He has an anger disorder, and that's just like, he resonates with it in a way that it's like, I get it, in like, it just kind of clicks and it makes sense. And your choices about what you choose faction wise say a lot about you. So like my 40k army is Eldar, and a lot of that is because I tend to like very specialist units. I also kind of this idea of striving for perfection, because they've got that weird the god that they are, I guess, oppressed by, is the best way of putting it, is Slaanesh. So you have a lot of this passion and stuff. So there's this struggle and this push and pull of it. And I found that resonated with me a lot. So I think it's really interesting how people choose what they choose, because there's usually something underneath the like, oh, cool guys, smash go smash, to you as like a person. So I think it's really interesting. I also, like, when I play Magic, I play black. I pull things out of places where they shouldn't be able to, because I have a really hard time letting go of things. There's a lot that you can say about your psyche based on gaming choices you make and what resonates with you. So
I can see that.
have you ever thought about that?
I would like to argue yes and no. Now, here's where I think you're critically wrong. Most people that are brand new to hobby aren't going to read all the lore to find out what selected army they want, and they'll usually pick a faction and go with it, and then they do the console war thing where I made a choice and I can't be wrong, so now I'm doubling down, and this is my faction forever, and I'm going to make it my personality now. So I feel like a lot of people choose a faction unaware and then adapt to it or adapt to specifics of those factions. Now, if you know all the lore beforehand, then yes, it means a lot about your personality because you did a lot of research and you want to be like these people and therefore it falls into it. But like my first army was Tyranids and I didn't think about it at all. It was just, hell yeah, bugs are fucking cool. I like the bugs. I want to eat everything. Here we go. Let's go. And then I learned all the lore and I chose salamanders, and I would say that absolutely rings with me.
So that's how I got. So I played Magic before I played 40K. So when I started playing Magic, I thought I was a green player because I liked the big stompy monsters. But it wasn't until I really got into it and started playing that I realized like I'm not actually a green player. I'm a black player. I do black green, I do black white, or mono black, but that's just where I found myself, even though I had made different assumptions about myself going into it. So it's like you and the Tyranids and the Salamanders. You kind of went in with an assumption and then you're like, maybe this isn't what resonates with me the most. And then you find the thing that does. Sometimes you get it right the first time. I would argue that for me personally, as much as I love my Eldar, I probably resonate more strongly with my Chaos Demons. But I didn't find those until they were my third or fourth army.
Right, but that goes to point out again, the factions have multiple different personalities and things that call and claim to you. So you could be one faction one day, another faction the other day. I don't think it's hard a sale to say this is exactly what you kind of like your astrological sign is a salamander or a word bearer or whatever Eldar. I think that there's different factions and you read into it as you do. Like, there's people like me that don't even care about factions and just roll 3 fucking Vindicators because that's not how salamanders play, right? So, like, it's not necessarily the faction, but you do enjoy parts of the lore, and therefore you start to feel more about those armies than you normally would have. But your initial choice, and typically, like, your second choice, isn't even the choice that talks about your personality. I feel like you can get a gist of it.
I think it goes to after you've gotten you're established, what you repeatedly go back to. What do you keep going to?
Sure, but I wouldn't say that naturally makes me a Salamanders player because I played my Orcs far more than I ever played my Salamanders.
Which goes back to you being a all gas, no brakes.
No, that was not all gas, no brakes. That was me just gassing you out because I had bodies. Again, that's not my personality. Of I take a meat shield of grots. That's definitely nothing about my personality. Is to surround myself with 30 meat shields and tank with 1 unit. Not that I don't think that the Orcs really speak to my personality in the slightest. Sure, if you read into the lore and you're like, you like smashing and you're not smart and you just want to fight, yeah, you're an Orc. But I don't think that you can really narrow it down and put somebody into a pillbox like that.
I mean, people are more complex than their zodiac sign, than their faction choice, but there's so much that I find really
fascinating. Am I a salamander with Orcs rising?
I think you might be with a Tyranid moon.
With a Tyranid moon. And what about my Eldar? And what about my Imperial Guard that I started and never finished because holy fuck, I hated the Grots and I didn't want to do another giant army?
Well, you see, that's because your Mars is in Eldar and your Saturn is in Imperial Guard.
And what about my Tomb Kings that I played even knowing nothing at all about Warhammer and had to buy an army because I worked at the store? And so I chose the Tomb Kings, and boy, howdy, that was a shit decision. Oh my God,
I think
it was
that has
so
something
bad.
to do with Uranus.
My Uranus doesn't have bones in it.
Zam, I
Yes?
think Uranus has bones in it.
No, my anus does not have bones in it. My Tomb Kings were actually painted metal because I I made them past Necrons, and it was so terrible. I had them all snot green and bolt gun metal. It was the worst Necrons I've ever seen, and they also suck. Tomb Kings were a terrible army.
Yeah, and I think it's really funny because when Age of Sigmar came out, Tomb Kings were accidentally omitted from the book. So the Tomb Kings players got so salty that they got left out. And it wasn't until second edition AOS that they got added back in. But oh my God, it was so funny just how bent out of shape they got about it.
To be fair,
Tomb Kings players,
they were basically just worse vampire counts. So I understand ignoring them to bring the vampires in, but anyways, my point is factions don't really tell enough about a person, in my opinion. And I feel like if you are assigning somebody's faction to them as, you know, you're all of these different things, the faction, I do feel like you give people a disservice.
I think it's a good starting point.
I don't know.
Because if somebody, like, they become, like, I became a chaos player when I started playing AOS. That was what I did. And 40K sucked at the time. I kind of played Horus Heresy, but, like, I was being lazy about it and was playing Imperial Knights. So, like, I was a chaos player for a couple of years. I don't know. I think that kind of, it sticks with me. There's something about it that is just like when I tell people, oh yeah, I play Chaos Demons, they go, checks out.
Yeah.
So
if I looked at you, I would definitely be like, you're a Chaos player or an Eldar player. Probably Dark Elder, personally, just by looking at you. But I don't think you'd look at me and be like, oh, you're a Salamander or an Orc player.
I would look at you and say Orc, without a doubt. You look like an Orc player.
How? How do I look like an Orc player? Is it the baldness?
It's the throbbing vein in your forehead.
What throbbing vein? I don't have a throbbing vein. What do you mean? Rufus,
Yeah.
chat, and what would you say my race would be in StarCraft then? A Terran because I look human?
StarCraft is harder because there's only 3 choices. And you're not micromanagey clever enough to do Zerg. And
That's more like
So
I'm
that
just
leaves
too
Terran-
old to play Zerg.
Zerg people are, like, the people who play Zerg are weird. I'm not going to lie. I've never met somebody who plays Zerg, who isn't a fucking lunatic. They are so insane because they are usually just, like, the most tedious people. Like, you cannot get details past them. They will obsess over things. They're nuts. They're insane. And I think that's the kind of person that you need to be a Zerg player.
I don't think I know anybody who played Zerg. Everybody I know played Protoss.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really that smart when it comes to StarCraft, so I play Protoss. So because that's about as far as I could do it, because
Everybody played
Terran's little-
Protoss.
Yeah, because most people aren't that smart. That's the dumb man's faction.
No, Kane played Protoss as well, right? I wish PB was here. He'd be able to confirm. Sorry, I know a lot of professional players from the StarCraft scene, and every professional player I know plays Protoss. There's a lot of Korean Zerg and Terran, but there wasn't that many North American that I would have met and known that played Terran or Zerg. Like, I didn't know Idra very well, but he played, I think he played Zerg. I can't remember. It's been a while. But anyways, no, I think everybody played Protoss. And also, Sushi's horribly wrong. Zerg needs a lot of brain because you need to have a lot of finger movement to go from hatchery to hatchery and infect. Your husband plays Terran, Christina? I don't know him, so I feel like that would check out. I would say Bad and Tilted would probably play Terran.
Sushi, that only works at like really low level playing.
Incredibly low level, especially if they patched that out in Legacy of the Void.
Yeah, but that doesn't really...
That's new age tech that he wouldn't probably not know because I don't think Sushi's played StarCraft in a hot hour.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I haven't either. It's probably been close to a decade, but
to circle back, I will 100% agree when you're choosing a faction for like Space Marines, Chaos, etc. Because otherwise you just play Space Marines and that would be where it ends. But because Space Marines have 40 different chapters and all it is a different color style usually. Sometimes they had their own codexes, but because they had different colors, you could narrow it down to what you wanted to play, and that would say more about you, right? But if you're just picking the typical Space Marine, that's a completely different section. It's kind of like, oh, what Chaos do you play? Chaos? It doesn't hit as hard as if you pick a specific faction within that faction, like a sub-faction.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
I would say that you have to be very diehard into the hobby to pick a sub-faction, and by that point, you understand what it says about you.
Yeah, and I do think it's funny when people try and like get away from basically the stereotypes of their faction. Like, there was this guy I knew who played Space Wolves.
The furries!
As you know...
The Space Furries. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's Rufus's faction for sure.
I think Rufus could fuck with some Space Wolves.
The phrasing on that, he could fuck with some Space Wolves. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I will stand by my phrasing.
I almost said yiff.
So I knew the Space Wolf player who he's not the most disgusting human being I've ever met, because that's another guy I met playing 40K.
And he plays the not Slanish, the Snotlings,
Surprisingly, no, he didn't play Nurgle.
No, okay. See again, I'm pigeonholing him into a faction.
Yeah, but he was a min-maxer, so he had no loyalty to actually anything other than what's the best cheese of the day. So, but the Space Wolf guy, he was so gross. He met so many of like the disgusting programmer stereotypes of like he didn't shower, he was always gross, everything he touched was kind of like disgusting. So much that his place of work said, if you can't wash your hair, you need to shave your head because we're not dealing with you anymore. So he shaved his head because he didn't want to have to deal with washing his hair.
Yeah, it's min-maxing.
Still not the most disgusting guy I've met playing 40K. The most disgusting guy I met playing 40K was that min-maxer guy who was a total creep. He used to try and throw dice down my shirt if I wore a low-cut shirt. Real creeper shit. And he smelled so bad. Like, this man smelled like a burning outhouse bad. We were doing this Escalation League, and I was playing my Space Marines. It was like the first time I'd ever played like normal ass Space Marines. I was so excited, and he was playing his Eldar, and I'm like, okay, this is gonna be too bad. I play Eldar, so like I know what they do. It was bottom of turn 1, and this guy smelled so bad that my eyes were literally watering. Like, this guy was acrid, disgusting. And I think I quit at the end of my turn 2. Because I'm like, I don't want to be in this room any longer because I don't want to be anywhere near this guy. So I took the L because I'm like, my eyes are literally burning because this guy is so disgusting. Like, I just don't want to.
So what you're
I don't
telling
wanna
me
do it.
is not only did he min-max the game, he min-maxed personality in real life to get an advantage for the W as well. That's some hardcore, impressive dedication to the craft.
He also got banned from every game store in North Jersey.
Yeah, because nobody wants to play with somebody who goes that hard for the W. Why would you want to try and even potentially fight him when you can just ban him and then you make it easy for yourself?
I mean, the doing a mild molest to game store staff probably isn't a great move either.
So going back to the dice in the boobs, have you ever rolled dice with your boobs, and have you rolled better with your hands or your boobs? This is important. As a guy with no boobs and only hands, I roll shit.
Usually, if my boobs are involved, the dice get stuck down in the crevice.
Yeah.
And then they get lost, and you've got to have a moment where you got to fish them out. And that is just, it takes time away from your game, and it kind of feels unsportsmanlike because it feels like you're delaying your turn. So don't recommend. But yeah, I mean, Underling has a point. I guess it depends on the people in which this scenario is happening.
Would that get you a better chance of winning by distraction as well? Like he stinks, you distract.
I have taken my shirt off to be a mild distract in a game.
That's illegal. That's poor sportsmanship. You should have been banned from 14 different states' game shows for that.
It was after hours.
Immediate disqualification.
It was with just the guys who hang out after hours, and it was fine because it was funny. There was context there. It was funny.
Can somebody quote that? It was fine because it was funny. Ilex 2026.
If it would have been during normal business hours when the general public was there, and if it weren't my teammate who was playing orcs was doing a wah and was being very understated about it, and I went as the Eldar player went, "Oh, we're doing a wah? Shirt off." It made sense in context.
Okay, but it doesn't really. The orcs don't take their shirts off to wah.
It was a dramatic gesture. It was part of the art. I mean, I've also done dumber things for dumber reasons. Like, when I LARPed, I accepted a gin-soaked rag from a person dressed as an otter. Like, I have made poor life choices.
Okay.
You don't know what to think of the gin-soaked rag, do you?
No, I want to circle back to what you think Salamander says about me, though. Because that speaks a completely different thing than orcs do.
So, I think salamanders make sense because
I'm not black.
You're not black. Yes, we can establish that from the get-go.
Yeah, I didn't choose the black Space Marines because I was black. I that is a very controversial topic of how I chose them on that, because people are like, "Why are you choosing the black Space Marines?" I was like, "They're black." I didn't know.
So, I think it makes sense because just a cacophony of fire and flame and just They're fast. They do a lot of just quick, fast damage. There's
They're
a
no
lot
lightning
of
fists.
fire. They're not lightning fists, but I don't know. I think there's the flameriness of them. Just I don't know. There's something about it that just kind of like yeah, that checks out.
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like if I were to say, oh, I'm a specific Space Marine, I would probably have said I fall under the Ultramarines. Not
I mean,
not a
I like
salamander.
Ultramarines, but for you, I could also see Blood Angels.
I don't know. As long as it's not Dark Angels, I hated those bitches.
No, you are absolutely not a Dark Angels player. I could see Blood Angels because getting in close and fast and smacking seems like a thing you would do.
Not as a Space Marine, no. They have really shitty melee. I'm sorry. They were far better to
Not
sit back and
anymore.
shoot everything. Okay, all right. In my age, back in my day, Space Marines didn't do melee very well because they always got outgunned, outnumbered, and you would always lose because people brought their power weapons to the battles and your 3+ save would be negated.
Underling, not always. Sometimes Space Marines are about the close combat.
It depends what faction really you go for and how you build your army. You can go heavy into melee. However, melee's not always a good option because there's literally factions designed for melee, like Tyranid and Orc. But then there's factions that aren't designed for melee, like Tau, where you just sit back and you shoot from 7 feet away.
And hope to God nobody deep strikes anywhere near you because you are figgity fucked if they get into your line.
My salamanders had 4 fucking drop pods and 3 vindicators, and I just fucking rained hell on those bitches. There was one time I deep striked my fucking terminators right next to a squad, and my vindicator scattered onto my own dudes. My terminators weren't alive anymore. Good times. Anyways, nobody's gonna know what I'm talking about.
You're not supposed to park on top of the guys. Just saying.
They were fucking Thunderhammer Storm Shield Terminators. They're Salt Boys. That's why I teleported them right down on them.
Yeah, well, you still shouldn't. Did you drop pod them, or was that the Vindicator?
So I drop podded down, but one of my drop pods had a teleport beacon, and then I teleport down my Terminators around it because naturally I want to get the Terminators into combat and get the advantage of being able to shoot around the drop pod and get the cover from the drop pod so that I can make my own terrain. Plus, I get a Stormbolter within the drop pod, so like I'm deploying extra guns, terrain, and my Terminators to attack whatever I needed to.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, you would hate 11th because terrain rules are fucking stupid right now.
I could see that. They were always stupid, to be fair. Like, especially when trying to determine if you're getting a glancing cover save because half your tank is covered. How do you cover half a tank? How do you measure that? That was always stupid.
Oh, did you ever get out the laser pointers and try and figure that out?
Nope. I chose not to be that nerdy about it. I just went and I said I would look down line of sight from the model and be like, I could see half of it or not. But I was also the referee for the most part, so whatever I said goes.
Yeah. I played with people who had been Warma Hordes players, and you want to talk about a cheesy competitive lot. Warma Hordes people are next level.
Yeah, I could see that. But that was a long time of talking about board games and video games and stuff. I didn't really have any other topics aside from that. Did you have any topics that you wanted to discuss?
I mean, I kind of came in just with that one thing in mind because I knew you'd have some at least warm takes.
warm takes. What, like I have a brain that I thought about this for more than half a second?
I mean, I am proud of you for thinking.
Yep. Yep. This is why you get timed out the most in chat.
I get timed out very, very infrequently.
Sushi? Imagine getting timed out while you're live on this show.
How?
What?
I'm trying
we're
to think
not-
about how.
We're not talking on Twitch, so we could still easily be on here talking while you're timed out. It just means you won't be able to read chat.
Would be rude.
Yeah, and then we could all bully and talk about you, but it does show up on the screen, so it's all good. But Alex, I appreciate you being on. It is hot in my room, so I'm going to call it a little bit earlier if you don't mind. Do you have plans to start streaming anytime soon or streaming anything?
So I don't think I'm going to be streaming anytime soon.
Why?
It was something that I enjoyed doing, but your advice was get a schedule and stick to the schedule.
Yep. If you don't have a schedule while you're streaming.
Exactly. I am way too flaky to have a schedule to come home and do things. I mean, I might do some just random. I'm going back on to Lotro and doing stuff, but I also kind of fell out of my Lotro phase. I've thought about doing some painting streams because I'm getting back into painting because I got back into Blood Bowl. And I've also been playing Blood Bowl, like both the board game and the video game. So I could go hard into that, but also following the ADHD and just, it's hard for me to stay focused. So I realized that since I can't commit to a set schedule, maybe streaming isn't for me, even though I really liked it.
I mean, if you want to make it a hobby, you can make it a hobby. You can make anything a hobby, but to be successful without a schedule, you're really playing on extreme difficulty, and you're not going to get very many people tuning in because they don't know when or how or why, and so they'll just be like, well, I don't know if I'll ever see Alex, so why watch, why tune in?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't blame people for that. So I don't know. I also just got a new job, so that could change.
Congrats.
Thank you. So that could change my availability. I don't know yet. So we'll figure it out. I either will or I won't.
That's fair.
That's it.
Okay, well then I guess you have nothing to shout out and be like, hey, go watch me over here and do all this. I guess if you guys want to see more of Ilex, she'll be in the chat. I know it. She'll be beaking me and calling me stupid and dumb and he's too stupid to play Factorio. I'm never playing Factorio. It's not because I'm too dumb. That's a contributory fact, but I'm never playing Factorio unless for some reason somebody pays me. Because fuck that game, I tell you what.
Somebody has to chirp you, otherwise you'll get a big head.
I already have a big head. It's like 17 and a half inch circumference. It's really hard to find hats that fit my head.
We know.
Okay. All right. Sweet. Thanks for coming on to the show, Alex. I appreciate it.
No, this has been fun. I should say something nice to you before I go.
We get a compliment, boys. Everybody tune in. We got compliment hour.
So, no, this has been a lot of fun because it is nice to have a conversation with somebody who is as energetically nerdy about this as I am. So having somebody who, can roll with me being kind of an asshole and dish it back has been a lot of fun. So,
I don't know if that's a compliment.
Take it.
That's what she said.
So
in my bone in my Uranus with a bone. Don't worry. There's a joke. There's a callback. We could make more comedy.
no, but I do enjoy coming and watching you play games, and it is nice to be part of the show because it's something that if I didn't like being here, I wouldn't be. So this is just,
Okay.
it's a lot of fun, and I enjoyed it. So,
Well, thank you. I appreciate the backhanded compliment, I guess, and I will definitely be able to see you in chat, guys. Thank you. Give it up for Ilex for being a viewer that came back to the podcast for a second round of Your Hobbies Are Shit, and I bullied her for 2 hours. But thank you,
well,
Ilex.
thanks, Sam.
I'm gonna hang up now. Goodbye, everybody. Say goodbye to Ilex.